system. You're probably familiar with Xero, spelled Xero, receipt management. Yes guys, good morning. We are back to the car vlogs. I don't know why they stopped, to be honest. I guess just getting out of the habit. Today's video is going to be all about what I have changed as a CEO of a 7-figure business with the view of getting to 8 figures. The mistakes that I made when I was running my 7-figure business that you can avoid, that got me basically stuck and got me, I wouldn't say the business stopped growing, but the rate of growth slowed right down. And so probably the clients acquired netted off against clients that were lost, which is not a great situation to be in. And so I'm going to go through with you guys today complacency, what that means for a business owner, and then just consistency over optimization. So let's start there. I mean, first of all, I was always obsessed with optimization. What different time management techniques can I use? How can I set goals more effectively? How can I achieve my goals more effectively? Excuse my sniveling, but the hay fever is so bad. So bad the last few days. I can hardly breathe. And I'm taking 2 forms of hay fever medication, so nothing seems to work. Next stop will be local honey. So we're on the mission to find some local honey. Anyway, this might be you, always trying to optimize your time, signing up for the latest course, thinking there's some kind of magic trick from the latest business guru, how you can get more out of your time, magic daily morning routines, evening priming rituals, all of this stuff. And I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm just saying that if you look at what's actually worked over the last 200-300 years for someone to build a business, for someone to be successful, for someone to be wealthy, ultimately it boils down to doing the right things consistently for long enough, day in, day out. And so one of the biggest mistakes that I made was trying things and quitting too soon. The only thing I think that I haven't quit on, that I've consistently done, and even now still doesn't give the results that I want, but will do eventually, is creating content. And so creating content, I've just gone back to the belief of create the content that you enjoy to create, teach what you want to be better at, talk about things that matter to you, and eventually, if you do it for long enough, regularly enough, and the content is of good quality, you will start to gain momentum. That being said, I've tried various different things for, my role at Grow Factor is primarily sales and marketing. And we're always looking at ways to improve delivery, make the service better. We recently put someone in charge just of that. How do we improve our services to our clients? How do we do things more efficiently? How can we add more value? Are we doing the best job that we can be? These kind of things. Just a full-time person just on that. So that bit, okay. But from my perspective, my primary KPIs are leads generated, the quality of the leads, and sales growth, recurring revenue growth. And the way that we've grown as a business has been ultimately doing good work and getting referrals. And that's not measurable. You can't predict that. It's do the good work and the referrals will come in when they come in. And in the past, we've had things like, referral schemes, asking for referrals, working with channel partners, getting referrals, doing the odd webinar, running an ad funnel, so on and so forth, selling through the DMs, all of these things. But none of these things were done consistently. They were done for a month, 2 months. Then when I didn't see results, they were canned off. Going back to basics, what I've changed now and what I've realized is this is what you need. Yes, you can get to £1 million turnover just doing a good job, just waiting for referrals and just letting your business incrementally grow. However, it will take a long time. It took 13 years for us to get to that point. Well, it took 8 years, 7 or 8 years to get to the point of turning over £1 million, and then slowly increasing that turnover for the last 5 years. But really, you would have thought that a business will get to 1 million, kick on, 2 million, 3 million, 5 million, 10 million. And we don't want to be the biggest business ever, but we want to have that growth rate so that then we can say no to more clients and we can be more picky and more choosy about who we take on. Anyway, these are the things that I've learned about sales and marketing in a business where you want to get from 7 to 8 figures, and also about what a CEO's daily routine should look like. First of all, from a sales and marketing perspective, you need a really good CRM system to capture every lead and make sure that they don't get lost. So even if someone raises their hand and shows interest in your basic one-page PDF, they're never going to buy, they're not in a position to buy, but they're interested in what you do. Or maybe you're an e-commerce brand and you can see that they've been on your website, they've never bought anything, maybe they won't buy anything for 5 years, but they've been on there, so they've created this tag, or I'm not sure how it works, you can use a pixel to track them and follow them around. Your system needs to pick up all of those people and nurture them over sometimes a period of years. But you need a properly set up CRM system which can do landing pages, it can do text message, marketing campaigns, it can link to your Facebook ads manager, it can link to your Google analytics, your website's potentially built on there, your sales pipeline's inside of there. If someone signs up and downloads one of your lead magnets, there's automated sequences that ping out. If they don't take action from the automated sequences, they drop into a weekly newsletter. Like, the whole thing needs to be mapped out and organized so you never lose anyone. If I think about the amount of people that have raised their hand and asked for help, dropped me a DM, downloaded an ebook, watched one of my webinars, attended one of my events, it'll be in the tens of thousands of people. You know, and our engaged email list is probably less than 1,000, because we just basically haven't had a system to capture, nurture, provide value over a long enough period of time so that when they're part of the 3% that do want to buy, they come back to us. It's not about hassling people. That's the first thing. Get people into your net and never let them escape. Okay, obviously if they unsubscribe, they unsubscribe. But if you're providing valuable email content, if you're retargeting them with ads to give them more useful assets and things, there's no reason why they should really unsubscribe. That'd be the first thing, and then you obviously build off all of your campaigns from there. Second lesson is be consistent in what you're doing and don't do too many things. So find out what's working for others in your industry who are killing it. Like, my coach turns over about 500k a month. He has 4 people in his team, absolutely killing it. What's working for him? 3 different things. I go and do the same things. I'm not seeing results. After a month, I go back, tweak the strategy, tweak the tactics, tweak the messaging, but I don't stop doing them, which is what I did in the past. I commit to doing these 3 things. One of them is webinars, for example, live webinars every between a week or 2 weeks or month, whatever you can handle. And building those up and committing to do those over a year. Not saying, well, webinars didn't work. I did 1 webinar. I've done 3 webinars and they just haven't worked. They're not for me. Stopping and trying something else. Do something consistently for long enough. If you know that it works for someone who you trust that's advising you, or another person in your industry, chances are it will work for you. But the key thing is you have to give it long enough. That was a big mistake for me. I would say don't do more than 3 things. that you go into. So it might be webinars, it might be running a webinar funnel where you're directing traffic from content and ads to the webinar, and it might be sitting on LinkedIn and running a daily LinkedIn routine, which is one of the things that I do to expand your network, reach out, talk to people, give people offers, that kind of thing. But do things consistently and don't give up. And then lastly, what I found is over trying to optimize my time, having an exact start and finish time for work, having this kind of I only want to work 3 or 4 hours a day mentality, when you've still got things that you want to achieve, I've stopped. I recently went to Portugal, had a week off, didn't do any work, and just realized that I still have this potential that I would like to fulfill. Therefore, I don't want to work from 12 till 3, which is what I have been doing. I don't mind working longer, and that's okay. What it does, or what it's been doing for me, I've been getting up at 5:45, going to the gym at 6, getting back at 8, dropping the kids to school, having some time to talk to them in that period, albeit 15 minutes in the car in the morning. Getting back, it's 8:50 a.m. now, I'll be back for 9, make a coffee, and then I've got between 9 and 5 to work. So I haven't pre-planned my day the day before, haven't done some complex, breathe through my nose and out my mouth 10 times, do 10 star jumps, review your goals kind of thing. I'll sit down, and what I do have now, which I invested some time into when I got back from Portugal, is I have a daily, weekly, monthly checklist of things that I need to do. Outside of that, I have the freedom to choose what I want to do. So for example, I created this Google Sheet which has all of my CEO activities in. It has a Monday to Friday tick list for the things that I do daily, like for example, check my inbox on all social media channels, review my CRM, and nudge my leads if appropriate to move them through the sales pipeline. These are things that I'll do daily. Weekly, send videos to all new LinkedIn connections, for example. Monthly, run the monthly LinkedIn webinar. So this almost like cheat sheet, checklist, whatever you want to call it, evolves. It started as a list. It didn't say daily, weekly, or monthly. I added daily, weekly, or monthly. As I do the things, I add on how long it takes me, so I start to get an understanding of how long the daily things take, how long the weekly things take, how long the monthly things take. And so long as I'm ticking those off, what I end up with is consistency. I'm doing the things consistently. The second part then is measuring the results. So having your funnel stages mapped out, for example, leads generated, marketing qualified leads, calls booked, calls attended, proposals sent, proposals won. If we track that, first of all, we can track the number of leads that are being generated from this daily activity, monthly activity, weekly activity. We can adjust the activity or tweak the activity, but remember, we're not changing the activity over a short-term period. We can check that ultimately the data that we're tracking is getting better. We're generating more leads week on week. The quality of those leads, so the percentage that go from leads generated across to marketing qualified leads, increases. Maybe we can put a funnel stage image on the video while I'm talking, and we can definitely show I'm just at my gate and my fob is running out of battery, but it's worked. Okay, happy days. I only worked out after 4 years of living here that I can phone my gate, push a button and open the gate from down the road. Obviously I'm filming on my phone at the moment, so I can't do that at the same time, but that was a key win for me. Anyway, daily checklist, tracking the metrics, having an overall weekly call as a CEO on sales and marketing metrics. And create your own checklist. You don't need to follow mine. Yeah, you could access it to understand what I'm talking about. It is 13 years of me working out what works and what doesn't work. What is going to grow your business. Primarily it's for a service business, but you could adapt it for a product-based business. And then you can evolve it to the things that you're doing. Your 3 projects will be different to mine. If you do that, and then you also have a measurement process for the results, ultimately as a CEO, your time should be spent developing your product or service, overseeing your team, making sure that they are operating effectively, oversight of the business plan, potentially strategic innovation, which is linked to oversight of the product, improving the product. How do we differentiate ourselves? You should be hiring someone for value chain, which is the person that I spoke about originally, that comes in and looks at what does the process look like, a fulfillment of sending my product out or delivering my service to the client, and how can we improve that? That shouldn't really be your responsibility. Yours should be 80% really sales, content creation, marketing. And even if you bring in a marketing manager, they're then doing all of the planning for you and they're responsible for the results, but they still want your clients to see you creating the content, talking online, working in the business. And I enjoy that. So where am I going with this? Just to wrap up, then the key mistakes that I made were doing things, not doing them for long enough, giving up on them too soon, whether that's initiatives to increase the output of the marketing department, to increase sales conversion, or even just to improve the efficiency of the business. Do something for longer, generally. Do less things, maximum of 3 ways to generate leads. Measure the results by mapping out your pipeline stages. Have a really, really great CRM system set up, which helps you cast a net and never let anyone fall through the net or flow away unless they actively unsubscribe. And have a checklist. Have this thing that allows you, like, I'm tired this week. I'm not used to getting up at 5:45. I don't have motivation and drive and energy to work, but I can just sit down at my desk, pull up the checklist, put some music on, whack through the things, because I've already worked out what I need to do on a daily basis. I'm not having to use my brain energy to work out what do I need to do. I've done that by creating a 1-page business plan, a sprint plan for each 4 months of the year on the main 3 projects that we're working on as a business. One of the projects is generate more leads. That has 3 subcomponents. For me, I own that project. What are my tasks, daily, weekly, monthly, that I'm going to complete in order to move that project forward? I don't need to think. I just sit down and I do it. Now, if it's not working, I then have access to go back to my group coaching program and say, hey, I'm trying webinars on LinkedIn, but they're not working. They will help me by digging into my stats, my process, my emails, pre-input, everything. Rip it apart. Give me some things to change, and then I crack on for the next month with the changes, but measuring the results. So don't make the same mistakes as me. Don't try and optimize constantly your time. Don't try and sit down every day and think, what is the critical thing I need to do? Look at your longer term goals, break them down into a business plan, break the year down into 3 4-month sprints. Look at what those key projects are. Create yourself almost a map of what you do. Leave some free space and thinking time. If on a Friday then you want to take the day off, there might be certain things that are critical on your checklist. Sit down 9 o'clock, work till 10, 11 o'clock on those critical things, knock off the rest, finish, go and do what you want to do. Like today, I'd like to finish early because I want to wash my cars. I want to do a few personal things. If I don't get to do that because I get into work and I get into flow, great. I'm not going to beat myself up. I'll wash the cars on the weekend. Similarly, some days if you have planned to sit down 9 to 5 and at 1, 2 o'clock you are just not feeling it and you are flagging, like if you went to the gym and your body's telling you, we're not ready to work out right now, your Whoop metrics are all in the red, just stop at 1 o'clock, get the critical things done and stop. Give yourself the freedom, okay, to flex from your original plan to what's actually happening. I hope this is super helpful, guys. It's been a massive breakthrough for me over the last few weeks, and that's what I love about being an entrepreneur. I had a breakthrough literally last week, and I've been running my business for 13 years, over 13 years, and you're always learning. That is the great thing about being an entrepreneur and running your own business. You never reach a point where you know everything. You never reach a point where you've just made it. You can constantly be moving forward. The same thing and the same reasons why I love bodybuilding and training. You can always move forward. You can always get better. And that, for me, is, there's two key components to happiness and fulfillment in life. One is constantly moving forward as a human being. And the other is contribution, giving back, helping people. And if you can do both, then hopefully you'll live a happy and a fulfilled life. Have a great day, guys, wherever and whenever you're watching this, and I'll see you in the next video.